I know, I'm sorry. You've clicked on this thumbnail and it's clickbait. So my question is this though. Are these, are they dirty repros or are they a no-brainer budget-friendly option? Hello, how are you all doing? I know I say this every time. Fucking hell, that's been a tough week. I know there are people who have, there's people out there digging holes. And I'm not digging holes, but they kind of are metaphorically. We're in a really stressful situation again. Stressful situation again at work. Redundancies are looming. Mood is very low. And we all feel like we're working as fucking bollocks off and getting nowhere, but hey ho, isn't that, all part of the human experience? So consequently, I come home on a Friday night and I want to do something to empty the head, to get some mind space, to take the edge off. So obviously I reach for a can, which is not really the best thing to do. I know on all these videos I'm drinking alcohol, and that has been kind of synonymous with me, but it's not something that I encourage. It's just, on a Friday night, like a couple of drinks and, sit in my room of shit and waffle at you lot. So, unfortunately, I'm mainly drinking, But tell me, what do you do to take the edge off? Leave it in the comments down below. Thank you for all the comments, by the way. Thank you to all the new subs. Hello there. My name's Darren. Welcome to the crazy train of deluded fucking mentalness that is retro video game collecting. I ought to say this every time, really, didn't I? If you're new here, I'm not. Although, it seems I might be. It might be new to you, but I've been around a long time and in different incarnations, and I've come and gone. Basically, that's what it is. I like to fuck you about, my loyal subscribers. And I'm constantly apologising for this, but it is what it is. I come and I go. And if you want to watch, great. If you don't follow it. It's as simple as that. But yeah, the thumbnail there and the bit of a con, we'll get into that in a bit. But I have to say that, I've been there, done that. I've bought Billy Big Bollocks games, the Dick Swingers. And although they give you a real nice buzz initially, for me, especially when I was collecting, I get kind of instant buyer's regret because it's not a bottomless pit and they do cost a lot of money for what they are. I think you would argue, well, you might argue that they're worth it, but is any video game from the 80s really worth £1,000 plus? Is it really worth that? But the fact that you can afford it, well, that's what helps drive the prices up, isn't it? But is it really worth it? I don't know. So many options these days, emulation, all the rest of it. I think you've got to be a real hardcore collector going for full sets to justify, dropping the money on them things. But, I digress. So we've got some more Megadrive. Yay! We've got some more Megadrive in the house. We've got a bit of Automedius Excellent here, one of Craig's favourites, one of mine as well. Did have all the characters at one point, the dodgy lady figures. But on the face of it, looks like, a porn game. But the Automedius games are really actually solid shooters. They're good games. Wet is another one that I've got back that I had previously and never played. But I just thought it looked kick-ass. I mean, look at that character. It just looks kick-ass. And I'll promise myself I'm going to play that. But we've got some Megadrive. We've got a bit of Tatsujin on the background, looking really nice actually on that CRT. Yeah, really crispy. This always bugged me though, this kind of thing here on the side. As I've said previously, you know, I like that game, but I can't profess to be any good at it at all. I've just had to go on it now and barely got to the second level, so, you know. What can I tell you? Shooters, I do like them. I like how they... And I think it's because, you know, growing up in the 80s, that's all they were initially in arcade, you know, in arcades. It was just shoot 'em ups, you know, with the invent of Space Invaders, and then, you know, the stuff that came after that, you know, Gallagher, no argument. Gyrus, Time Pilot, Galaxian, you know, you can keep going and going and going, can't you? But they're all shooters. It wasn't until technology got a little bit better, I think, that you started getting different genres and, you know, able to explore those genres, you know. And yeah, I mean, it was a great time to be alive. I have to say, some of the best days of my life were spent in arcades, not in school. For the last year of my schooling, I was basically in our arcade in the local town. Sunspot, it was called. And you could walk in and there was a constant haze. There was like a line between the fresh air at the bottom of the room and the smoky air at the top of the room. This is when you could still smoke. And yeah, I used to bunk off school, take my dinner money down there and put it into arcade machines. Phoenix, another one. Mooncrester. I could go on. And actually that arcade stayed there for a long time. I remember when I first met the good lady wife and I moved in with her, arcade Sunspot was still there. And I know that after tea, I used to say, I'm just nipping down to Sunspot. And I used to go down to Sunspot and play Smash TV on the big cabinet that they had. It wasn't Total Carnage, it was Smash TV. I used to go down there nearly every night. Yeah, it was great. Not there anymore. I'm not sure where it is now, actually. It's either a hairdresser's or something like that, or a nail bar or something like that. It's a shame. What, you know, that's the double-edged sword with home. You know, arcade at home killed the arcades. You know, how many kids can say now that they grew up wanting to play a game at home that they couldn't get? You know, that they could only play in an arcade. No kid could tell you that now. They wouldn't even... the concept of that is completely alien to them, because games are released now for the home consoles and the home market, and the arcades seem to be filled with teddy pickers and huge big cabinets that are almost like a theme park ride, you know. So they're almost like, you know, like your Star Wars Battle Pod. Although that is absolutely excellent, I would encourage anyone to play that. If money was no object and I had the space, I would definitely have a Star Wars Battle Pod. Awesome. I remember me and Jay going down to the local one. There's like a bowling alley down here that does like sort of bowling, and it does food, and you know, these places that do everything. And there's an arcade in there, and yeah, they had a Battle Pod, and I think again it was on a midway to a Blackpool Expo, and yeah, we called in there first to play the Star Wars Battle Pod. Brilliant. It's on my, actually, on the intro, it's part of the bit at the end where you can see me inside something, and that's the Star Wars Battle Pod. Brilliant, that thing. But, yeah, you know, home consoles killed the arcade. They did, and that's because we were on the hunt. But I have to say, we had the sort of golden years where we were they golden years, or were they frustrating? Yeah. They were kind of frustrating in a way, weren't they? Because you were kind of... But then again, they were. That's what caused the playground wars and all the other stuff, you know, that was all part of your childhood growing up in the late 70s, early 80s. And all. I'm kind of lucky, really. I consider myself lucky that I can have all this stuff now. And I was there at the beginning, you know. I was there at the ZX80, you know. In the UK, Home Micro was really popular. Not sure what was popular in America before the NES, but obviously the NES was super popular. I'm not sure what was before the NES in the States. Somebody tell me what console came before the NES in the States. And I know there are quite a few American viewers who had Commodores, and I dare say had Spectrums as well, but I'm not sure Home Micro for gaming was that popular in the States. Correct me if I'm wrong. No, I can answer my own question. ColecoVision, that was one, weren't it? Because Jess talks about that. Yeah, ColecoVision and Atari, obviously. I'm chatting shit, aren't I? I just sit here and waffle until I remember that I'll answer my own question. It's because you're not answering me. It's frustrating. What's that? A partially clothed lady on a Japanese video game? Puh. We won't be having that. But actually, the characters are all proper kick-ass. And although that was a bit dodgy then, we've got a bit of nipplage then, I have to say that Caladrius and Caladrius Blaze, something that I want back for the PS3 actually, that's proper dodgy because your character loses clothes the more hits you take on the little cut sequence between sort of losing a life. Yeah, you start shedding clothing. So, you know, there are dodgier ones, but it's a Japanese thing, what can I tell you? It's a Japanese thing. They've embraced the perv in Japan. They've embraced the pervert. You know, there are vending machines where you can buy knickers, you know, like, I'm sure I've heard this. I'm not making this up. I didn't dream it. I'm sure there are vending machines where you can buy like used panties. You know what I mean? Because there's that many men in Japan. There's that many like sort of frustrated men. There's loads more men than there are women, and you know that's why the family unit is breaking down and stuff in Japan, because men just can't find ladies. They just can't find partners. But this is why you get like huge big concerts of these like K-pop and Japanese sort of pop stars, and the whole audience is like businessmen. They're all stood there in the grey suits, like going, "Grr," and they hold up a glow stick, which is the same colour as the girl on the stage that they like, because all the girls wear different colours. You know, Jesus Christ, lads, talk about thirsty, fucking hell. Yeah, thirsty Japanese geezers. Anyway, how's your week been? Has it been okay? Go and grab a brew. Go and get a drink. Pause me now. And welcome back. And yeah, go and get a brew and come in here for a minute and just chill out. We'll have a chat, you know, we'll have a chat about things. Whilst showing some video games. So, more Megadrive. So initially that first few that I bought, it was a short list basically, but there were lots more coming in the post, and there are some here. And as you saw there at the beginning of the video, there are some huge hitters, some fucking massive games that didn't cost me a lot of money. And we'll talk about that when I get to them. But, excuse me, one of the first ones that I had for my Mega Drive, and I did complete this back in the day, and I didn't intend to do it again. Such a lovely game this, and it doesn't cost you a lot of money. It's one of the staples on the system, and it's Castle of Illusion. Many memories of playing this. I think it's got a really nice curve to it, Castle of Illusion. It's not that challenging for your average player and below average. It's lovely and minty this as well. It's probably the best one I've owned. And I did say that when I get them, unless they're like sort of seriously huge hitters and I don't want to pay a lot of money for them, I'll accept a bit of Sunfade, or I'll accept a bit of, you know, wobbly manual or whatever. But some of these, if I can get them in good condition, I will do. This is a really flat manual. It has probably seen a thumb, you know, but it's really nice and crispy. There's a little bit of wear on the top there of the cartridge, but I'm not too fussed about that. It's complete. It's there. It's Castle Illusion. And yeah, really impressed me this when I first played it back in the day. I think the level design and the controls and stuff, like most Disney games, they're nailed, aren't they? You know, they're good games. So and some are better than you might even think. You know, you might think they're kids games or whatever, but quite a few of them have got a good challenge. I remember playing the remaster of this as well on the JTAG. I think that's actually on there as well. The sort of the reimagined version that they did on Xbox Arcade, because that's got all the Xbox Arcade games on it as well. And I remember playing that as well, and it follows the narrative of this. It's sort of got the same feel. It's not the same gameplay feel. It is definitely a modern game, but the music in it and everything, you know, it's a bit of a nod to this. It's a bit of a homage to it, which is what it's sort of what it was presented as, I think. But yeah, Castle Illusion. I think I paid, I want to say 15 quid for that. It's really not an expensive game at all, but it really must be in your collection. One of the all-time greats, as is this next one. So I think this was the next one that was coming. I paid a lot of money for this. Now this is probably the most I've paid for a Mega Drive game yet. So it was over 100 quid, which is crazy, because You know, it's like a, what were it back in the day, $39.99. You know, but it's become synonymous with the Mega Drive, and this happens to be an absolutely mint copy. I'm really pleased with this, and whenever I buy this, I try and get the best one available for the money. Now, this has really shot up. This is not one that's come down. I know in that previous video I was saying, looks like prices are coming down. They are on a lot of it, but not the ones that you really need to have. And again, this is no exception. It's Bare Knuckle, or Streets of Rage. It's a really nice copy, this. It's probably the best condition copy that I've ever owned, to be honest, apart from when I bought it brand new. It may even be better than the one I bought brand new. It is absolutely minty. Everything about it is pristine. So the manual's really nice and shiny. I'm going to have to be super careful in taking it out because I'm going to fold it all up. Yeah. Ooh, no, a little tear there. Oh no, there's a little tear in the top of that manual. Oh, gutted. Because look at it, it's like, look how minty and shiny it is. There's a tiny little tear in that top corner. Oh, gutting. Gutting. Oh well, it is what it is. I didn't see, yeah, I basically caught it on the little fucking tab. Or have I? It may have been there if I had a quick look at it when it came, tested it and it worked. Oh man. No, I think I'd have been straight back onto the seller. I think I've done that. I'd have been straight back onto the seller saying, this ain't fucking all that. But, you know, it is what it is. It is really, really nice. Oh, I'm gutted about that. Absolutely devoted. Because that was, yeah, well, you know, it is still minty. You know, it is still very minty. The sleeve inside, there's no wrinkling or anything. And it was the cheapest as well. And I think he took an offer. I think it was up at like 125 quid. And I think I might have offered him 110 and he took it, something like that. So I did get a bit off, but yeah, it's 100 plus quid game now for something complete anyway, in that condition. But yeah, Streets of Rage, what can I tell you about that? So obviously when it first came out, this is before Final Fight on the Super Nintendo. Yeah, everyone has got memories of this, of playing it and enjoying it. And I like the dynamic in this where rather than having like a super kick or a super weapon or some sort of combo that would wipe, you know, everybody out, this has got a vehicle. It's got a team that are helping you. So you press your sort of special move, if you like, and a car zips up, fires off a load of missiles and bombs, you know, whoever it is that you wanted to wipe out. So I really like that sort of dynamic in this game. I like the fact that it's like another part of your team, you know, that's coming along and helping you. The sort of sour note on this one is of what I remember is that on the day I bought it, my best mate and my current best mate Steve came round to have a play on it, and they nearly completed it in front of me, and I had not played it yet. They literally turned up to have a go on it. Have you got it? Yeah. Oh, let's have a go. So okay, let them have a go on it. And they nearly beat the last level. They got all the way to the last level and they nearly beat it. They didn't. I did, subsequently, but they never did. And I was like, lads, I've just bought it. You're just going to fucking rip through it and I'm going to see the ending. Which they thought was hilarious. Yeah, I was feeling a bit butter over that. But they didn't finish it. It took me to finish it. You know, the last boss in the office there is pretty fucking tough. It'll be interesting to see if I can actually beat that again. But, yeah. Streets of Rage, gotta be in there. Fucking devoted about that manual. Absolutely devastated. It's too late now as well. I can't go back to the seller because what I'll do is I'll check the listing though and see if it's there. I may have done that myself, just taking it out, putting it in quickly. I might have just caught that, which is absolutely gutterizing. Right, next one. And it just happens to be the next one on the pile, not for any other reason than it's the next one on this pile here. Again, something of a bit of an answer to Super Nintendo. This and actually quite a technical feat on the Mega Drive. Again, you can get super minty copies of this, and it is absolutely super minty for not a lot of money. And I remember it was the most expensive Mega Drive game when it first came out. I think I paid £70. I think it was $69.99 when it first came out, this. And it's Virtua Racing. And the reason it cost so much money back in the day, or now even, I don't know what the cats are doing, I can hear some bloody noise, is the size of the cartridge. It's humongous. If you put that at the side of another cartridge, put it at the side of Mickey Mouse, it's half the size. And that's because of the extra chips in here. So, as a bit of an answer to, you know, what Nintendo were doing with the Super Nintendo, and I think this was, correct me if I'm wrong, was this before or around the time of Star Fox? I don't know. A bit of me thinks it was around the same time. What year is it? 92. Yeah, 1992. But yeah, absolutely super minty. Lovely manual in this, actually. Fantastic. In fact, it's fully complete, this. We've got a little Megasoft Information Volume 2. What's that? I don't think I've ever seen that. It's like a little... Is it like a poster stroke manual? I know it's like a little advertising leaflet thing. I've never seen that. Yeah, so it's got some cool stuff on it. We've got Aladdin there, which I've never played on the Mega Drive. I might have to get that, actually. I completed the Super Nintendo. We've got Bare Knuckle 3 advertised on the back. So yeah, this is very late on, isn't it? Art of Fighting there, by the look of it. On the bottom there, Art of Fighting. Pro Striker. We got that, didn't we, on one of those cartridges I bought. AX101. What's that? It looks like an on-rail shooter, polygon shooter. AX101. I don't think I've ever heard of that. That might be one I'm gonna have to go have to look for. AX101. What's that? Interesting. Mega CDs. So Mega CDs out at this point. One thing I didn't say about the Wii actually is it's got full Mega CD selection in it as well. Collection in it as well. So I can play Snatcher, which is an awesome game. Might talk about that as well moving forward. I'd love a Mark 1 Mega Drive, a Japanese Mark 1 Mega Drive to put under here and have a bit of Tower of Power sort of thing going on. But yeah, I've never seen that before on Regio card as well. So yeah, now it's nice and complete. I'd say you can get the... I don't know what it is with virtual racing. I don't think people are really... I don't know, were you impressed by it? I was really impressed by it. I thought it was awesome back in the day. It may be dated at this point, but yeah, back in the day, of a massive cartridge like that, huge cartridge. But yeah, great arcade game, obviously. You know, push the envelope a little bit for everybody. And to have that on a Mega Drive at home, quite something, you know. Yeah, awesome stuff. Virtual racing. Right, I need a top up, don't I? I need a top up on my thing. I'm going to get something a little bit harder, and I'll be back shortly. Jump cut. Shall we do a jump cut? Don't do a jump cut, don't we? It's nearly empty. Jump cut. And we're back in the room. It bloody stinks in here now because Eddie, I don't know what it is, he's just done a shitty bath. I think it's because I'm in here doing this and I'm not giving him attention. He's just done a dump in the bath. It stinks in there now because he lives on a tuna diet. Otomedius perfect. Oh, sorry, Otomedius gorgeous. So more, yeah, more Otomedius for you there. More tits and fanny. And there can't be enough of that, can there? We've got Harmful Park here, which I don't own. Thanks to my PS3. Bit of issue with the PS3 actually, and it's made me buy another system. So the PS3 has stopped playing my PS2 games. I don't know why. I messaged Beeps, but he went on his holiday, so I'm yet to hear back from Beeps. But to be honest, I don't think I'm going to send this back to him. PS3s, they do have a bit of an issue with the PS2. Playing them, certain consoles will, some certain consoles won't, etc., etc. and it's down to the fact that it's emulating them. But yeah, I put my few burnt PS2 games in it, and I'd actually started buying some PAL games, some PS2 games, and as part of a never owned this system when it was out type of discovery that we're doing with the PS2, and yeah, it was it stopped playing the game. So I thought, what am I going to do? Because I'd literally bought one that I really wanted to play, and I have been playing it this week actually. I'll show you that in a future video. But yeah, I decided to get a system, so I've actually got a PS2 in the setup. Not that you can see it, but it will be there, and another console over here as well that's yet to be divulged. Should we say divulged? What was that? Click. Pop, click, fucking hell. It's going to blow up. So, wait. Mega Drive. Next Mega Drive game is one that I did have back in the day, and one I've always really struggled with. I've never completed it. And that's not from, you know, any fault of other than lack of skill set, I think, on this. Just look at this. Is that on the insert? You'd think I'd look at these when I buy them, wouldn't you? Or is it on the paper? I think that's on the paper. Yes, it is. That's a shame. But I think I might be able to touch that in. I'm thinking of doing a bit of a video on smartening boxes up and stuff as well, actually, because I've had, since I've got back into the RC thing, I've been messing around with painting and stuff. And I've got a fair few acrylics where I've touched boxes back in, you know, the paint I've got like really matches, and especially for black boxes. X19 is a black that Tamiya do. It's an acrylic paint, and you'll find that if you've got say a Nintendo 64 or any black SNES games, it takes to the boxes really well. If you say, for instance, you're collecting American Super Nintendo, it'll touch in all the bits of wear and tear. It basically recolors the cardboard into a black, and once it's in a box, it looks, you just can't tell. In fact, you can't tell by looking at it. You know, I've done that on a few now. Just touched in, you'll see it dries. Basically, it's like restaining the card. I'll show you in another thing, but yeah, if you want to have a look at that, it's X19 the colour. I think it's a flat black, or it might be a satin black, but it matches really well, and it'll bring your boxes back to life. Anyway, we've got a Shinobi game here, and it's the Super Shinobi. So the one thing I remember about this is the sort of the title sequence, and that it's really iconic, the way that the guy gets his sword and like deflects some some throwing stars at the beginning. Now this is a really nice copy. Again, this goes for like, it can go silly. I'll be honest with you, I can't remember what I paid for it, but it's bound to be at least 45 quid, because it does bring good money nowadays, this one. I'm just wrecking the shit out of my manuals. So now I've seen a thumb, maybe one. It's seen a thumb, but it's really, really nice. And the cartridge, again, really nice and shiny. The back of it's really nice and shiny. Not a lot of wear and tear on there, and the top's really good. So yeah, apart from that, on the front there's a little I don't know if it's a tear or a scratch on the inside. That's a shame. It could even be a manufacturing glitch, that, you know. Could even be a manufacturing thing. There's no sun fade or anything on that one. It is a really nice copy. Like I say, you can pay 65 quid all day for that, but if you hold out, you might be able to save a tenner or 20 quid here or there. But yeah, I think with that, I'm gonna have to get I could see with that. See how it's like white because it's torn. I think I could touch that black back in, and I could touch this sort of blue purple, because you can mix the acrylics and mix and match and get a tone. And I think I could. It's literally a hair, so it needs a really fine brush, and just touch that in. You know, if you've got no life. But yeah, like I say, love-hate relationship with that one. Whenever I do a collection for the Mega Drive, I've always got to have it back, and I just remember playing it. You know, it was one of the first. You know, in fact, I think I got that before I got Shadow Dancer. But again, find it really difficult to navigate certain levels, especially the one where you're on the mountainside and you basically have to leap into faith. It's like that scene on fucking Last Crusade where fucking Indiana Jones has to leap. You know, it's a leap of faith, and then he finds that there's a shelf, and oh, that's all right then. It's like that. You have to fucking dive into certain doom, and then you find a shelf. It's all kind of camouflage. You know the one I mean. But yeah, that always really frustrated me, that, because there's a lot of I would say there's a lot of unfair kills in this. Correct me if I'm wrong, or agree with me in the comments. But it's not a very good case, this either. I think Shadow Dancer pisses all over it. The artwork's very dull, you know, it's very uninspiring. I think I basically bought that. I think I would have bought that off the back of a magazine review, because they were all over it back in the day, weren't they? But yeah, we've got the Super Shinobi. And I think that's the 4, isn't it? Yeah, so we're now into the Dirty Repro realm. So, I mean, I'm not sure what your politics are on this now. All I need you to know is that I won't be reselling these as genuine. I think anybody with not a very keen eye, but anybody that knows anything about them at all would know that they're fake. But I kind of dipped my toe in. I saw one. I'll show you the first one I bought, because it's a fucking bug up my arse, this one. I could have had this for a bargain price, but Tootie UK robbed it from me in Blackpool because I was busy talking to the community. That's what I was doing. I was talking to the community, having a chat with some people that had come a very long way to the expo to meet all the YouTubers, and were having a nice time. And Tootie got in before me. He got to that fucking store. I was literally 2 stalls away from it. But this guy was selling off his Megadrive games, and I would have bought this in a heartbeat, and it was a good price. I mean, back then it was like, I say a good price, I think he got paid 100 quid for it. So, you know, and it's not, the prices haven't stopped. This is, again, one that's kept going up and up and up. He'll know what game that is now because of the story, but, you know, if it was going to go to anybody, I would rather it go to Tootie than anybody anyway, you know, and I'm sure that he really appreciated finding it and buying it at such a bargain price. Now, again, this is, my life's full of regret. So, regrets, fucking loads. This one I found in a game station. It was a Japanese copy. I found it in a game station in my local town. And you never saw Japanese Mega Drive games in the wild anywhere. You just didn't see them. They were, you know, just elsewhere. You did not see them in the wild. They weren't in shops, put it that way. And in my local game station, they had kind of a display in one of the windows for more obscure things, you know. So there was this, and there was another Japanese game with it, and I bought them both, and I can't remember for the life of me what the other Japanese game was. There was definitely 2, but I saw this one and I thought, oh, that looks interesting. And I remember it because at the time I didn't have a Mega Drive. I bought it to sell it. So I basically had a look on eBay, and it was bringing 3 times what they were asking for it. And when I tell you, you'll shit your pants. Because this is now, it's well above 100 quid. It's 200 quid plus. So it's not a super big bollocks game to buy, but I'm not going to pay that for it. I've played it, and although I like it, I wouldn't say it's one of my very favourites that I've got to have. So these ones that mean something to me for one reason or another. I suppose this does in a way, and I owe it to myself to get the genuine copy one day. I'm talking myself into it because of this story. So it's Aleste, basically, Musha Aleste. And I saw this in a shop window. It was just sat there. There was another, I think I saw that, and there was another Mega Drive game at the side of it. I wish I could remember what that other one was, because I bought them both. So I just saw them in the shop front, and they'd got like obscure controllers and stuff like that, things that weren't modern or things that weren't selling, you know, back then in the shop. They got in the window, in a window display. So I went in and I said, "Oh, you've got a couple of Mega Drive games in the window," and I think they might have been £10 each, something like that, in the window. And I said, "Would you take 15 quid for both?" And he said, "Yeah." So I got that. And another Japanese game, I don't know, it might have been something that's not risen in price. I hope I don't remember it, because it might be. But yeah, I bought that for 15 quid. No. And then I went home and I put it on eBay for 30 quid and sold it and doubled my money in and thought, yay, go me. But, you know, hindsight's a very powerful thing, isn't it? So ever since that, this has had a little bit of a, I mean, for the dangerous thing is, look at this copy. So it's got the grainy box. I've not swapped this out because I thought, well, I'll buy these and I might swap because sometimes with the repros, the artwork's not the right size and stuff like that, or they have a super thin case that's not quite, it looks like a Mega Drive case but isn't. But this is spot on. For $17.99 from AliExpress. If you want one, go and have a look. They're still there. There's loads of them. It's got the grain of the box. You know, I was talking about the grain in the Mega Drive box. It's got that. The insert fits perfectly. It's not a bad print at all. I think you'd have to squint, especially on the back. The thing that gives it away from me is the barcode. The barcode looks a little bit, I don't know, but because it's such a cartoony cover anyway, and I really like that artwork's really cool. You can kind of hide, you know what I mean, a copy. If you didn't know, if I was just showing this you now and say, I mean, you've got to admit, if I was showing that you now saying I've got a copy of Musha Aleste, finally I've got one, you'd just fucking believe me. Now the cartridge, a big tell is when you open it up, because it's really tight. You know, the box itself is really tight. And the one thing I will point out as well is these stickers don't adhere very well to that needs to go in another game, to the cartridge. But you open it up, now you can see on the cartridge, we'll show you that first, that it's the same. They've basically took the same artwork, but they've compressed it and stretched it so it looks a little deformed. And the sticker is actually lifting up, it's lifting away already. So that sticker, and it's because it's too thick. The material of that sticker is too thick. But they've got the proper sticker. The cartridge itself looks proper Japanese cartridge. You know, it's really well done, this. But you could spot that a mile away. I would say that if you got a manual and a loose cart and put it into this box, you wouldn't know it was a reproduction box. But you'd spot that. You can see that the characters are all squashed and stretched. So that artwork's not right. And on the manual, and it's a full colour manual. Let me just try and rescue it. It's a full colour manual. Again, it's a little bit, the paper's not quite right. It's a bit too good, if anything. It's a little bit, the paper seems a bit thicker, and the artwork's not very shiny. So, like I say, if you were somebody that knew someone that was into these and you saw this somewhere and you thought it were genuine, you pretty much think it were genuine, you'd buy it if you didn't know. Full colour manual. But you know, as I said, is it a dirty repro? Would you consider it, you know, as heresy? Shouldn't be in the collection. I don't consider it part of the collection, actually. I just consider it like an Everdrive. It's a game that I can plug in and play. I'm not going to display these or anything, so it's not. But it's not a dick swing. I'm not into that either. It's more just about owning the game that I can play on my system. You know, but I have to say that the box and the box art is really good. I think that would fool people. It did come with a hang tab, but I cut them off. I cut the hang tabs off. And just how brand new it is. If I was to put that in one of those genuine Mega Drive cases I bought, and it just go click click, it'd sell it you. It'd sell it you. I don't know. I don't know what your politics are, but at this point now, when I've been through the mill, you know, I've been through all of it and out the other side, and paid big money for this stuff. I can still have sort of 80% of, all right then, 50%, I can have 50% of the experience. I can buy the game in its box with its cartridge and a manual for $17.99. You know, I'm just saying. So for instance, this next one, and it's manual, actually I had to buy separately. This is the thing with these as well, for some weird reason, they some of them come with manuals and some of them don't. But this is a game that I would never be able to afford, ever be able to afford this. It's multiple hundreds of pounds to buy it. It may be £1,000 now, I don't know. I know that Craig Minks, how are you doing, Craig? Did buy a genuine copy of this because he likes the game. And he's got that in his collection. It is genuine, but I just saw this when I bought that. I went to the same seller basically because that's the best repro I've ever seen, the best box definitely, and this is no different to that. It's absolutely there. And I thought, well, I'll go to him, and again, this was £17.99. It's Eliminate Down. Now, as I say, I would never be able to afford that. I can't justify paying that for that shooter. I have played it. I've played it on emulation, and I would say it's a good game. But you know, is it worth £1,000? It'd have to be really nostalgic to you. It'd have to really tick some boxes for you to have that. You know, you'd have to be a serious shooter collector, like Craig, or you'd have to have some real nostalgic attachment to it to pay that money for it. For me, it's not worth the money. But it's worth £17.99 or anybody's money. Again, the case is exactly right. The insert, the print on the insert is really good. It's not a super sort of involved one, this anyway. So again, it can kind of hide, it can get away with it. As this hang tab, which I'm going to cut off. I'm going to cut that off because they shouldn't be there in my opinion. But yeah, it's from the outside you would be taken in by it. On the inside, and as I say, I bought this one, and it came like this with just the cartridge, no manual. Now again, we've got the lifting. See how the glue's letting go of the edge? I think because these are so thick, it's not thin enough. The glue lets go. I mean, you can stick it back down with your finger, but because that is so thick, it can't handle that radius, and it peels off. It just peels off. I'm not sure how I can repair or improve that. I'll just run my thumb down it. I mean, I'm not arsed, it's a repro. But this one came just like, and actually the cartridge is really good as well. If anything, it's a little bit, again, you spot it because it's a little bit too clean, it's a little bit too shiny. So I haven't got anything else to compare it against. So, I mean, obviously I did own Musha Aleste, but back then. So I know that this, I don't know. You know, it's a little too shiny, that, for me. But I had to buy the manual separately. So this guy was selling the game, and it came in like a little bag. Selling the game like that, but then the manual separately. Now this manual is a little better. It's a little less shiny. It's a little bit more matte. Now I don't know, Craig. Maybe you can chime in on this one and show me your actual copy. Show me how close this is, because brother, Jesus Christ. This is better, so there's no deformity on that. It's a really, really good print. And inside, as I say, it's the full colour. It's the full colour thing. So again, dangerous this one. Dangerous copy. Ah, found the problem. It doesn't fucking fit. It's too big. So that's why he sells it separately. So it fits in the case, but it doesn't fit between the tabs. I would have to cut the bottom of this off. Which you would lose some information and stuff. Having said that, looking at that kanji, I could probably cut just above that. No, because the see, it's not the real thing. It's not the real deal. What I might have to do with that, and because it's a repro anyway, what I might do is just take these little lugs off and just have it in there in its bag like that. Yeah, it don't fit. It's too big. And I think that's why the print looks so good, because they've not distorted it. And it's probably the reason why he sells that separately. But I didn't pay £1,000 for it. It's Eliminate Down. You know, go and if you're not familiar with it, go and look for it. It's a really good shooter, but is it worth £1,000? You'd have to ask Craig that. Two last ones. So there's 8 games here, but only 4 originals. As I say, I bought these because I bought that, and then I bought that, and I thought, these are really good. What else does he do? So I bought these 2 from the same seller. Is this Beanie going to be on a video? Beanie, come on, I want you to see my girl cat. Beanie, come on. Come here. Come here. People have not seen you. Look at this. Look at this. You're going to see her. Look at this. What's this? Is it a game? She says, I don't know what this is. What is it? Come here then. Come here. Now this is Baby Bean. We call her Baby Bean because she's so small. She's so ickle. And you're very unlike Eddie, aren't you? She's so loving. She's going to struggle to get off it. What she doesn't want is attention when she's not interested. So she wakes me up at least 3 times a night for cuddles and snuggles. Oh yeah. But yeah, she only on her terms. She's a fucking woman. What can I tell you? I keep mentioning you, but you've never been on a video. So there you go. There's Baby Bean. Now this next one, I've never owned this on the Mega Drive. And this is one of the reasons why I bought it. So it's Vampire Killer, or in other regions, Castlevania Bloodlines for the Mega Drive. So as I say, never played this version. I did have it on emulation, but I've never really put it in. But again, just look at that box. The box is spot on. You know, it really is a good reproduction, and I won't have any old shit. You know, I'm not going to have. I want good shit. Is what I want here. But yeah, the print on that's really nice and crisp. It fits the box. You know, everything about it looks legit. It's not. So again, this is how it came for $17.99 from that same seller. Just go to AliExpress and just put in Mega Drive or something. Again, the cartridge, it has that lift on the sticker. See, it's because it's brand new, I think. If I was to put these somewhere and press that down and hold it for some time, I mean, it goes straight back, but it's really shiny. Like I say, that sticker's too thick, really. But, you know, for the money, fucking hell. And I don't know if that's super compressed, or I suspect it is, because looking at most Mega Drive games, they have this sort of band on the top, don't they? And it fills the radius part of the cartridge, and then your artwork starts. But the artwork starts halfway around the radius. So again, you can spot them. You can spot them. No one's going to buy this, you know, as a... I'm not going to sell this for 400 quid. You know, it's a dirty repro. But I fucking have it every day and twice on Sunday for that. I get the experience. I've got a manual, look at this manual. Again, it's that sort of matte finish. Actually, looking at the print on that, again, it looks a bit off. I mean, if you were a collector, you'd be balking at this. You'd be saying, you know, no, it's reproductive shit. But they're getting so good. I mean, everyone used to say back in the day, oh, reproductions are getting that good now, you're going to be conned. I don't know if you are. And again, that one don't fit. What does it? Oh no, it fits, that one. It fits in. It fits in between the tabs. But looking at that, the tabs are a little bit wider apart. I don't know, so he's got it right on that one. So again, dangerous. Dangerous shit, man. But yeah, I've never played a Castlevania game on the Mega Drive. And I know that's sought after because it's worth a load of money. And I just saw it on his listing, or as part of the games that he got on his store. And I thought, yeah, I'm going to have fucking Vampire Killer. Definitely. It looks pretty cool, actually. Looks pretty good. I think Retro Dave Nintendo had this back in the day. I think he had Bloodlines. I think he had the Genesis version. Did this not come out on PAL then? Let me know. So I know Vampire Killer is the Japanese version. Bloodlines, Castlevania Bloodlines is the Genesis version. Did it get a PAL release? And if not, fucking why not? It's a huge IP. Intellectual property. As is this next one. And this is the last one I've got. It's the last bit of dirty reproduction. You're probably all tuned out now and switched off anyway. But I'm telling you, honestly, for these Billy Big Bollocks games that are going to cost, they're going to bankrupt you. You know, it's got to be worth a punt, hasn't it? 18 quid. Delivered. That's delivered, by the way. Inside a week and a half from Japan. Come on. And we've got Contra Hard Corps. Or Probotector. Again, cost you hundreds of pounds to buy that. Again, case is really nice. You know, it just looks like the genuine thing. I'm not displaying any of this stuff anyway. As I've said, I'm not really into that this time. But just to have the cartridge, the case, the manual, again, it is lifting. See, that glue's coming away. It goes straight back down again, but when it's left in there over time, yeah, you would spot the cartridge, you would, but I don't know, these cartridges are not 3D printed or anything like that. They feel like genuine Mega Drive cartridges. Am I selling it yet? As I say, for me, it's a no-brainer budget option to play some of the most expensive games on the system. You know, again, this looks a little bit saturated. The colours look a little bit saturated on that. But again, the full colour manual for 18 quid, and it fits. I don't know why that Vampire Killer one don't fit. It's a shame, but that fits in. You know, what can I tell you? You know, there's going to be loads of hate for it from the collectors. You know, personally, I'm not going to resell them on as genuine. I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, well, some would, and that's what makes it dangerous and all the rest of it. And I totally agree with that. But, you know, there are thieves in the world, aren't there? There are con artists, you know. There are people that will defraud you and tell you that it's genuine. But I think on those games, specifically those 4 games, if you were looking to buy those, you're a collector. You're not just an average Mega Drive gamer, or you know, you're a collector of those, especially if you're looking for the Japanese versions. And you're not going to get taken in by them because you know they're not real. You know, the guy sells them as reproduction games, you know, and he's got all sorts on there. The one thing for me that they've never been able to do is Super Nintendo, American or Japanese. You're going to spot the cardboard. It's not the same. They do very good reproductions, but they're not. They are really close. The cases on them are really, really good. As I say, if you were to take that insert out of there and put it in a genuine Mega Drive case, even then those cases are that good, you know, and then put it out there as case only, you could probably turn that 18 quid into 50 quid, you know. But I'm not going to do that because, you know, I need to sleep at night. But let me know what you think about that. Like I say, it's something that's always been a thing, and we always said they worry that those will get into general, you know, usage, and after they've become careworn, and they'll look more and more like a genuine game. I don't think those cartridges will, because they're not going to fool you for a second, or the manuals, they're too thick. The print on the cartridge is not right, but those cases, they could be dangerous. They could be dangerous. But yeah, as I say, let me know what you think about that. For me, it's a no-brainer budget option to play games that I can't afford, you know, but I can own them, and that's close enough for me. So yeah, let me know. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for listening. Waffled on far too long, as usual. I'm going to go and have another drink. Enjoy the rest of whatever day it is you're watching this on, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye now.